Floyd Mayweather, 47, says he'd be willing to lace up his gloves and take on Jake Paul in a real fight, but only under one crucial condition. You see, Floyd doesn't want to go through the trouble of eating 1,000 cheeseburgers just to reach Jake Paul's weight class. If this fight happens, it's happening at Floyd's weight. After all, why should Mayweather abandon the 147-pound sweet spot he spent his career in just to tango with a YouTube prankster? It's not that Floyd is afraid. It's just that when you're undefeated, there's no point in putting on extra pounds to fight someone who thinks the sweet science is an Instagram filter. Jake Paul, on the other hand, seems to be on a quest to challenge everyone but a real boxer in their prime. You have to give him credit. He's certainly doing everything he can to extend the definition of the term professional boxing. But Floyd has a point. He's built his career by staying disciplined, staying at his weight, and winning. Why change now for a circus act? Floyd Mayweather versus Jake Paul's pro records as of 25th of November, 2024. Jake Paul plays punching practice with Grandpa Tyson. Jake Paul, 27, took part in the 12th bout of his not-so-historic career earlier this month, facing off against none other than 58-year-old Mike Tyson in what can only be described as a sad heavyweight pillow fight. Held at AT&T Stadium, Arlington, the match featured Tyson, apparently under a spell that made him forget what a punch was, staring blankly while Jake Paul managed to throw enough punches to be the least terrible person in the ring. Tyson, once known as the baddest man on the planet, now looked more like someone's confused uncle at a family reunion brawl. After apparently getting bored, Paul coasted to a decision victory. A true warrior, if by warrior we mean someone who fought a legend well past his expiration date, it's almost like watching a bad reality TV show that you just can't look away from. There's something captivating about the spectacle. The way Jake Paul continues to push his luck, testing the boundaries of what fans will accept before it all falls apart. The absurdity, the theatrics, and the sheer audacity keep people glued, wondering how far this gimmick can really go. There's a strange fascination with how far Jake Paul can push this gimmick before it all comes crashing down. Of course, the fact that people are still paying to see it says something about the state of entertainment today. But hey, if Jake can cash in by essentially playing the sport on easy mode, who are we to judge? Mayweather joins the queue for a Jake Paul payday. Paul has been fielding fight offers from actual boxers like Artur Beterbiev and Daniel Dubois, presumably looking for the same kind of circus spotlight. These aren't small-time fighters. These are legit professionals who have worked their way up through a brutal and unforgiving sport. Yet Jake, ever the savvy marketer, seems to be content dodging these real challenges for now. Instead, Mayweather has made his way to the back of that line, patiently waiting for his turn to collect the Jake Paul pension plan, a term that refers to the trend of fighters seeking an easy payday by facing Jake Paul. It's all about the money after all. Mayweather, of course, is no stranger to the entertainment side of boxing. He knows exactly what Jake is doing, and he's not above joining the queue to get a piece of that pie. If you thought Floyd was done with boxing, you clearly haven't been paying attention. He's done with hard boxing, but easy money, that's always on the table. The Jake Paul circus is a golden opportunity for retired fighters to cash in one more time, and Mayweather has never been one to miss out on an easy payday. Floyd Mayweather's real thoughts on Jake Paul and Canelo. Speaking to TMZ Sports, Mayweather didn't hold back on his thoughts about Paul's meteoric rise and the possibility of Paul stepping in the ring with a true boxing titan like Saul Canelo Alvarez. Mayweather reminisced, "You gotta do your homework. Jake once said, 'I don't want to do an exhibition against Floyd Mayweather. I'm only doing real fights.' All right, kid, let's do a real fight, but at my weight. I'm not going to start inhaling pizza to reach 200 pounds just because you want to dance." Spoken like a true champion. Floyd knows his worth, and he knows there's no need to make drastic changes just to prove something to an internet personality. Mayweather noted that Paul boxes somewhere between eating everything he can find and cruiserweight, with an upper limit of 200 pounds. Meanwhile, Floyd fought his latter years at a spry 147. The idea of Floyd stuffing himself to compete at Jake's level is laughable. The more you think about it, the more it becomes clear that if this fight is going to happen, it's going to be on Mayweather's terms. "Of course, I can't get high up in weight," Floyd added, as if the very thought of him chugging protein shakes for Jake Paul was more ridiculous than the rest of this saga. And let's be real, it kind of is. Floyd Mayweather changing his entire routine for a Paul brother? Not happening. Jake Paul's prospects: fame, fortune, and a beating. Mayweather wasn't entirely dismissive, though. He gave credit where it's due. For what Jake's doing, it's good for him. He's making money, he's entertaining, and well, he's selling it. There is something to be said for that. Jake Paul has managed to keep people interested, to get people to buy tickets, and to get people talking. But then, in typical Money Mayweather fashion, he sprinkled in a harsh dose of reality. Once he fights a real, actual fighter, it's gonna be bad. And if Paul wants to test himself against Canelo, according to Floyd, there's no confusion about how that story would end. He'd get absolutely destroyed by Canelo. "There's no way he'd even survive," said Mayweather, with a casual bluntness that almost made you feel bad for Paul. Almost. It's the kind of bluntness that comes from experience, from having fought real opponents and understanding the gap between showmanship and skill. Jake might be a great salesman, but boxing isn't always about the sell. It's funny in a way how much time we're all spending talking about Jake Paul when the outcome of these hypothetical matchups is almost guaranteed. But that's what makes him successful: the sheer audacity to challenge people he has no real chance of beating. It's the thrill of the what if, no matter how remote the possibility. The Hat Saga. Of course, the Mayweather-Paul story doesn't start here. In case you forgot, Floyd boxed Jake's brother, Logan Paul, in an exhibition in Miami Gardens back in 2021. That fight was bizarre in its own right, an event where no winner could even be declared because, well, how do you declare a winner in a glorified sparring session? But it wasn't the fight that stole the headlines. It was the moment that turned the entire event into a meme factory. Let's not forget the highlight of that entire event: when Jake Paul, in a genius move of grade school villainy, snatched Mayweather's hat right off his head and yelled, "Gotcha, hat!" Floyd, being Floyd, proceeded to chase Jake through the Hard Rock Stadium like a dad who just realized his kid drew all over the walls with a Sharpie. The look on Mayweather's face wasn't just anger. It was disbelief, fury, and a bit of embarrassment. The kind of embarrassment that only a Paul brother can bring about. Who knows, maybe this whole fight idea is less about settling scores in the ring and more about Floyd finally getting his hat back. Maybe Mayweather just wants one clean shot at Jake for that childish prank. Maybe this is about pride, honor, and the kind of petty revenge that every one of us can understand. Whatever it is, you can be sure that if Floyd and Jake ever meet in the ring, the real winner will be the viewers, basking in the glorious absurdity of it all.